Thanks for staying. We have business now, and the head of finance of the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Bobkin, says there should be a need for a balance between the monetary and fiscal policy to tackle the volatility of the cedi. He was reacting to the governor of the Bank of Ghana's hint that all export proceeds will be repatriated to the country to help manage the value of the cedi in 2016. According to Dr. Bobkin, it is good the central bank is conscious of the challenges the economy will face and the pressure that will be on the cedi in 2016, but quick to add that dealing with currency goes beyond monetary policy. He observed the problem with the Ghanaian economy has more to do with the economic fundamentals and therefore the need for a holistic approach.
Once we don't address the fundamentals of the economy, especially developments as it relates to the real sector of the economy, agri industry and service, then certainly whatever effort we put in place in terms of surrounding our export earnings and all of that can only do very little, because we do expect that the cedi will come under some cumulative pressure next year, because it's also an election year.
In reaction to the central bank's advice that banks should increase their capital through generated profit instead of distributing all to shareholders, Dr. Bobkin said the thought was a good idea but was a balancing act, as shareholders are there for returns on investment. The president of the Chartered Institute of Bankers also called for a special incentive for banks that put a percentage of their capital in agriculture. Dr. Bobkin says government intervention in this regard is not the best, though the status of agriculture and industry do not provide an incentive for banks.
Talking about creating the enabling environment that enable banks themselves, out of their own risk analysis and the reward that they will get from that, will choose to lend or diversify into the agricultural sector. Currently, we are not seeing that, and I don't think that the outlook for the agricultural sector especially is that positive. If you look at it over the years, even the growth in the agricultural sector itself has been on the downward trend. I want to believe that government will have to show direction by making agriculture quite attractive.
Now, the hike in utility prices has received mixed reaction from the general public. Some industry players have described the increases by the PRC as shocking. I do have on the phone and the president of the chamber, that's Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Seth Ijeba. Thanks for your time, sir. Good afternoon. We've lost him on the phone line, but we're still trying to reach him. When we get him, we'll talk about the hikes in the utility prices and how this is going to affect industry. But let's move on. And the telecommunication companies contributed a total of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to government tax revenue last year. The figures are findings from a study conducted by PricewaterhouseCoopers for the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications.
The mobile telecommunications sector has been one of the most vibrant sectors of Ghana's economy since its liberalization in the early 1990s. The study gathered information about the industry's tax contribution and overall enabling impact on the economy. Key findings include the sector contributing 5.4% of government tax revenue, representing an amount of 1.5 billion cedis last year. Also, product taxes and regulatory fees paid to regulatory agencies constituted the largest type of tax payment, which comprised of 1% of net revenue contribution to the NCA and the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications.
They're here for the long haul. They've made investments in the billions of dollars, and so they are not flight-by-night businesses. And so we thought that it's important that we do this study and share the contributions that we make.
That's all for business.